What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Before we go any farther, I'm about to cue up the brand new intro for the channel. Check it out. Alright guys, I hope you love the intro. I've never done an intro. It just didn't really seem like something that people would want to see over and over again. But whatever, I did it. And if you like it, drop me a comment below. I'll leave it in. Who knows? I got a lot to cover today, guys. If you caught 2 uploads back, I took the car to the drag strip. And that has caused a flurry of controversy and comments and, you know, negativity and BS and everything else like that. So I wanted to cover that because there was, you know, quite frankly, there was a lot of positive feedback. For the very first time you take a brand new build to the track. A lot of the more experienced guys that have been to the track, that have built cars and race cars, they understand what I was doing on that, you know, on that night, get acquainted to a brand new car, brand new build. And so that was cool, but there's a lot of internet racers that think they know stuff or quite frankly don't know anything, probably don't even own a car, that were making a lot of comments. And, you know, I get a little bit of a laugh out of it, but, you know, there are some guys who don't know a whole heck of a lot about cars, don't know a whole heck of a lot about drag racing, that saw the passes and were, you know, naturally a little bit perplexed as why the car didn't run any faster. So that's the first thing we're going to get into today. Let's go. All right, so here's the deal with the car. That was obviously the first time out of the track. It was a get acquainted. All of the suspension, all of the drivetrain, everything on the car was new. So naturally, I'm not going to go out there and just send it to the moon, you know, like everybody that's cool says. No, I wasn't going to do that. What I was doing was taking the car down the track. I was seeing if it was going to go straight, if everything felt right, everything was kind of jiving and all of that. So number one, we don't wreck the car and, you know, tear anything up because, you know, something wasn't tight or something wasn't adjusted right. That was the main thing. I actually love this car and I don't want to stack it up. So no, I'm not going to just send it. If you want to do that, that's fine. But, you know, to wreck this car and have to pull my drivetrain out, put it into something else, not something I want to do, because I got a lot of history with the car and I like it. So yeah, we were getting acquainted. That's number one. All right, guys. So number two, the car was not 100%, not even close to 100% ready for the track, for, you know, for really letting it all hang out. The first issue was my front runners did not show up. So I had the huge, heavy 18-inch wheels and tires on the front of the car. Obviously, that's going to slow me down quite a bit. But, you know, it is what it is. And it also was causing, you know, the swaying issue that caused me to let out when I was racing the Z06. You know, you need a skinny on the front so the car is more stable at speed on a bias ply. So it is what it is. They didn't show up. I'm fine with that. Number two issue is the car has a full, like a road race style suspension. It's geared more towards taking curves and, you know, stuff like that. Which I knew on the front end, and, you know, that's kind of how I set it up to be an all-around, you know, good performing car, and that's what it did. So no, it's not optimized for drag racing. It wasn't built that way. I get that, and, you know, at the end of the day, I want this car to be as much fun on the street as it is on the track, and so, you know, no, it's not going to do the absolute max 60 foot that it could if I set it up that way. Alright, so another issue we have is the car has yet to be tuned. A lot of guys don't know that the car has not been tuned. The car has not been tuned. And that was part of the reason why it wasn't running very good. Even before we replaced the oxygen sensor, it still backfired a lot and it still kind of hesitate. You can just tell it's not right. That's something I'm taking care of. Next week, the car is going to get tuned at Wenger Performance. And, you know, we're going to max it out. Going to make sure it's, you know, everything's 100% dialed in for the engine, you know, for the combination, the headers, the intake, you know, all that good stuff. So that's going to make a huge difference, and I'm super excited to see how the car runs at that point. And then the other extenuating circumstances, I had a passenger every time I went down the track. You know, the people wanted to ride in the car. My wife wanted to ride. Ken wanted to ride. I mean, it was just people wanted to ride in the car and fill the car. And I said, you know, I'm getting acquainted. I'm just shaking the car down. Come on, go for a ride. So, you know, there was a lot of things that are going to make the car run considerably slower than its actual potential. And again, you're never going to run your fastest time when you go out to the track for the first time. Not even close. I mean, sometimes it takes 4 or 5 outings to really start whittling that ET down, to figuring out your launch and your 60-foot, figuring out where the car likes. Do you need a little wheel speed off the launch, meaning you spin a little bit? Do you need to slip the clutch? There's a ton of different things that each car is different, and you figure that out as you go down the track. A little bit of trial and error. That's how you whittle the ET down. You're not going to get it on the first pass, despite what all the internet racers will tell you. Alright guys, and so here's a couple other things. Number one, my car has 373 gears. Coyotes love gear. Definitely thinking a 373 is going to be, or 410 is going to be in the works, simply because I could tell down track, I needed more RPM. I just needed more gear. So that's something that I'll probably go ahead and do. The other thing that I'm going to be changing up is we need torque box reinforcements in the car before I really let it all hang out and get that max 60 foot. Haven't done torque boxes yet. I don't want to rip the control arms out of the body, so we'll see. Next outing at the track, I will probably launch it 4,000, 4,500, somewhere in there. Just kind of see where we're at that point. Play with the tire pressure, go from there. Hopefully my skinnies show up. At this point, it's not even looking good for the 1st of May for them to show up. So yeah, it's a little frustrating, but again, there's still a lot to figure out with the car, but it's just going to get faster. And a couple other notes, just because I sit around and think about this, and I look and agonize over the time slips, and I think about each run. There was a lot of things as far as the transmission that I wasn't sure about. I've never raced a 3650, especially a built one, and so that it was a little bit different than I'm used to. So that took a little bit of getting used to. The clutch, it was grabbing up a little bit high. I need to adjust that. And then also I hate to say this, but I was short shifting out of first, simply because I'm used to my old push rod that I shifted around 5,500. And so I was watching the videos and I was like, yeah, I short shifted the crap out of it. So one thing I need to do is get a shift light so I don't have to sit there and watch the tack, because it swings a lot faster than it did with my old push rod motor. So I need to get a shift light. That way I can just focus on what I'm doing and get the car down the track. And I think that's going to make a big improvement too. Just make sure, because with the stock intake you're going to fall off about 6,800. I need to nail that every time, especially if I'm going to get max ET. So that's going to be coming as well. Alright guys, last and final thought. Obviously Ford Takeover is just like barely 2 weeks away. That is coming up big time. It's going to be a freaking awesome time. If you have not gotten info on, don't know what Ford Takeover is, go to thefoxcast.com. Check them out. Check my website out. It's on the events page. Get all the info you need there. That's going to be a hell of a time. Like I said, zero stress environment. Just go out there. It's kind of like a hangout type format. Show your car. There's no trophies, no judging, any of that. Track will be open. Run your car. You can do no time if you want. It's just going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a ton of people. It was huge last year. It's going to be even bigger this year. And the year after that, it's going to get even bigger and better. So make sure you're at the Ford Takeover. And look forward to seeing all you there, especially you internet racers. We'll see you there, because I'll be there racing. But anyway, guys, that is the deal. Ford Takeover is going to be awesome. I'm getting people messaging me all day long. Hey, people I've never even talked to. Hey, I'm going to be at Ford Takeover. Can you recommend a hotel? Stuff like that. So I promise you it's going to be a great time. And there's going to be a ton of cars there. And we're going to be doing it all day. So just make sure you are at the Ford Takeover. You are not going to want to miss it. Alright guys, that is pretty much what I've got for you today. So much going on. I can't even tell you how much stuff's going on. Obviously spring has sprung. The cars are going to be out the track. We're going to be battling out, me and Ken and everybody else out at the track. We've got all the builds popping off at the shop that are really starting to come together and look like something. So you want to make sure to keep up with those. We got events coming up. I mean, there is so much. It's impossible to keep up with sometimes. But the best way you can is give me a big thumbs up. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Alright, I gotta get back to work. Later.